Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. I first met John Coley on the Forney to Montgomery wagon train earlier this year, where he was serving as wagon master of the 10-day event. John told me he had just about completed the transition on his farm from conventional row crop farming to a more diversified model.
Used to row crop. We pretty well cut the row crop out. We still fool with a little bit. We rent a lot of land out now, but we raise livestock, buy and sell and trade mules, and have some draft mares and raise some draft horses and draft mules, and then we have old line heritage hogs, New-Rock, Hampshire, and Yorkshire old line hogs, and cross them for a real high-end, high-quality meat hogs. Sell those to the restaurant industry. Just a little of this and a little of that, try to make a living.
In this episode, we're going to visit with John about his mules and Belgian mares.
Oh, girls.
In a later show, we'll come back to talk with him about his other livestock.
This is kind of just a hodgepodge pen of mules right here. This is my lead team that I'm using now coming up.
Are there two of the three that were on the wagon train?
They are. This pair of mules I bought as colts, unbroke, and we broke them. They're 6 years old this summer, and they are a great pair of mules. Come on. Come on. These other two teams in here, I bought out of Pennsylvania just for some extra mules to sell. Come on, y'all. Come on. Just gonna tie them right over here. Come here. Whoa, Sue. Come here, back up.
So you bought them so they were basically field broke for big hitches?
Yeah, they were Amish mules. They're older mules. They're 16, 17 years old a piece, all four of them. And I always have people calling wanting cheaper wagon mules or affordable wagon mules. Sue, quit. So I bought those to have some around here to sell later this fall when it cools off. We're going to work a pair of these today. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Hey, baby girl. Hey, ooh, buddy. Come here. Little boy. Come on. These mules are pretty broke, so you don't have to worry about what you tie them to. Come on. Come on. Boys. Whoop. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, come on, set that right there. Ooh. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Hey, hey. Sue. Hey.
If you enjoy seeing how our ancestors lived during America's rule yesterday, you're going to love looking at these books. Volume 1 is fieldwork showing horses and vintage tractors preparing seed beds, planting, cultivating, and harvesting the crop. Volume 2 shows the work being done in the barn and farmyard, feeding and watering the livestock, getting the crop into the barn, milking the cows, shearing the sheep, and collecting the eggs. In Volume 3, we go inside the home to see the family in the kitchen canning vegetables, in the parlor listening to the radio, and in the dining room for family supper. We also head into town to shop at the general store or visit on the town square on Saturday night. Each book has over 140 large format pages. They sell for $24.95 each, or you can buy 2 for $44.95, or all 3 for $54.95 plus shipping. Call 1-877-647-2452 to order. That's 1-877-647-2452.
I grew up on a row crop farm. My great granddaddy was a dairy farmer and sawmiller and row cropped, and then my dad and granddad row cropped and run beef cattle and dairied for a while, then transferred to beef cattle. And then my mom and dad got in, they always had quarter horses, but as I got older, they got into getting less cattle and more quarter horses, and raised a lot of horses growing up. I never did really care for the quarter horses. They're okay, they just weren't my thing. Always liked fooling with the draft mules. We raised some quarter mules, and they're okay, but they're never natured like a draft mule is. If you breed real good top quality mares though, they're okay. They make good mules. They make a good size wagon mule, but they just won't ever have the nature that a draft mule will have.
The temperament?
The temperament. They spook easier and just shy at things a little quicker and easier. Usually not as friendly and personable, just temperament and disposition. They'll wear down a lot easier. Of course, they're smaller. Usually a little harder to break. These draft mules, they're usually not too bad. If you got a good lead team, put a colt with them, 2 or 3 days, sometimes it don't take that long. They pretty well got it. It's pretty hard to get a quarter mule to do that. I don't pasture my mules. Good mules, especially draft mules, are real easy kept. And if you turn these good young mules out on good pasture, if you're not careful, they blow up like a hot air balloon. It just doesn't take much feed to keep flesh on them, and I don't like my mules overly fat. These are plenty heavy enough. They wear down quicker, and it gets hot here in the south, and we work them all summer long, and we want them to last without hurting them. I've been real lucky to never kill one from tying it up or colic or something, but I've never kept them overly fat. And we typically here have real good grass in the spring because we get warmer quicker. And our grass, we put chicken litter out in the fall, and we have all that nutrients laying there, so we start getting some warm days in February, and our grass is instantly putting out. So usually by the 15th, no later than the 20th of February, our hay consumption is cut way, way down, and we're running on mostly grass. It's actually harder for us to get through the summer here than it is the winter months like the states up north, because we can tend to get hot and dry, and we lose a lot of our good pasture. It won't grow and produce in the summer if we hit a dry spell, a lot of heat. See what I was talking about? Yep. That was from working a collar that was entirely too big. Right. That was probably about a 24-inch collar. I'm working a 20-inch collar. Got it set on 20 inches. Fits him good. But he come directly off the farm. Had been plowing and spreading manure this spring, and he was pretty scarred up. Little girl. Come here. I'm going to open this collar up just a little bit. We worked her 4 days on a wagon train, and it pinched her just a little. Those holes are a little aggravating because I hadn't been using them. When you take the collar off, come on, if there's any hair stuck to it much, you need to look, because usually you're galling them somewhere. And she had some hair stuck to the collar the last day, so well, you can see it just wasn't much, but just a pinch right here. It was just starting. It didn't even take the hair off, but it's knotted right there just a little bit. That was the only spot, but she just sat just a little bit too tight. People have a real bad habit of worrying about choking them. You can't choke a mule. They're smart animals. You're not really going to choke a horse. They're going to stop pulling. They'll want these collars come way down here. Then they get to pulling down here on this shoulder bone. That's what galls them. They need to be up here where your tugs are hitting. They need to be up here in the cup of their shoulder and set just like that. I'm kind of an oddball here with this harness. Most people in our area work breeching harness. I work, some people call it Pennsylvania Dutch harness. Some people call it Yankee harness. Doesn't have any breeching. I like it a whole lot better. It's a whole lot lighter trying to harness these big mules. You're trying to store it, and the mules stay cooler, and it doesn't rub them and gall them as easy. This is what's called a hip backer right here. And when you work a cart or a wagon with a floating tongue in it, you got to have it, or they have no way to hold that tongue down when they start down a hill or back it up like we back the manure spreader. They have no way to do that. The outside mules that won't be hooked to the breast yoke, we won't work this hip backer on them. They don't need it. All it'll have is a crooper. But on your inside mules where they got to hold the cart and the load going off a hill or back up, they got to have that to do it.
Hi, I'm Joe Mishka of Rural Heritage Magazine. I'm on location of one of the many events we cover that celebrates our rural heritage. If you enjoy our show, check out our magazine, where you'll learn more about the people that blend the past with what works today. You can save almost 20% off the newsstand price by subscribing at ruralheritage.com or chat with us at 877-647-2452. That's toll-free, 877-647-2452.
Whoa, Sue. I see I've let the collar out on her, so it kind of changes where my hames are setting a little bit. Sometimes you have to readjust on them. Back up. Now if these do what they normally do and what they're supposed to do, come on, they'll about hitch themselves. Come here. Come on. As you can see, this farm's kind of a work in progress. It was not set up for equine at all. We work it, usually improve something every month around here, but it's still a work in progress, so we're still kind of, come up, kind of getting by and just tired of whatever. Step over. Yeah, the girl. Whoop. And we're going to hook these outside ones in with a pair of jockey sticks. And there's different ways of doing this too. That's just the way I do it.
You just drive the center team.
That's right. These outside follow. All right, back, back, come on, yeah, back, ha, 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 that's it, whoop, whoop, back, 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 come on, yeah, back up, back up, whoop, one more time, back, woo, woo, woo. Whoa, Sue. That's why I really like a cart with brakes. If you have brakes, you can back them right to it and stop right where you need and lock your brakes. This is just a all-around farm cart that I use, but it does make it more difficult to hook up. Let me get on this side. Get the block out. All right. Let me roll the cart back. I'm gonna go around this way and go back out. I'll have to go up the road and come out to the litter pile. Step up, girls. Woo, woo. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have that group here by mid-month. No later than the end of the month, that group will all be bred to our jack. They're all Belgian mares. Part of them are registered, part of them are grade horses, but they're all good quality Belgian stock.
Are they all outside mares or are they yours?
No, they're mine. They're
yeah. How many's in there? 8?
Seven, I believe. Yeah, 7 in there. And then there's 4 mares over here on the hill across the sow barn, if you can see over there.
Right.
All those mares are in foal. They're a month or more, 2 months in foal. And then we have 4 mares in Kentucky on 2 different farms, 2 on each farm that have checked in foal in the last 2 weeks. And then we have about another 8 or so mares up there that are still getting bred on in Kentucky. So we'll
servicing with a different jack up there.
That's right. I've got a jack. He's a pretty nice jack. He throws good colts, but I don't ever like to put all my eggs in one basket. So I like to use at least 3 different jacks. I've been in the market for another jack. I hope to buy another jack and have 2 here by next breeding season, by January. But so far I've not found what I'm looking for, so till I find it, I'm going to keep using. And even after I buy another jack, I'll still use at least 1 outside jack. So there's 2 jacks. One of them an Amish fella owns, another one a Mennonite fella owns, and we're real good friends, all of us, and they're real fair to me on the stud fee and the mare care. And the Mennonite, they actually work a lot of horses for me, and so I carry the mares up there. It works pretty good, so they can use them to farm with while he's breeding on them. It kind of
right.
makes it much more useful for both of us. So
right.
Helps me, and he's not sitting there feeding them for nothing. Woo, Sue.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.